Good evening. My name is Marine Chablay, and tonight we are back with another segment of Voice to the Nation. We are privileged to have our pastors, Pastor Barry Williams and Pastor Anita Williams, who's going to speak to us about our family and church and so much more. So let's wait, hear, and see what God has to say through them.
Good evening, I'm Wilhelmina Hector, and I will be hosting this evening's questions and answers on focusing on the family from both ministry as well as maintaining a healthy, balanced life. So, my first question, Prophet Barry and Pastor Anita, as leaders of your ministry, being senior pastors of your church, how do you maintain a healthy balance between church, ministry work, your personal work, and your family, and all of this still juggling a healthy marriage?
Boundaries. I think you need to know what is your ministry life, and when I say ministry, because family is also ministry, what is your church life versus your intimate family life. So I tend not to mix the two. Even though all my family is in the ministry, when we're home, and at times we do discuss church, but we don't bring church home. We don't discuss church politics at home. We don't discuss things and matters that can rob this house of time that belongs to us. Right. So I don't have meetings in my house. I don't call, unless it's real urgent. I don't call church meetings to my house. I don't call members to my house. There's a boundary that I have. I don't go there to homes. You have to maintain a boundary, because many times the pain in family can be developed when you don't respect that boundary. And when you bring church into the house, it can begin to rule the family. And that is where you start seeing trouble. When ministry begin to overpower family time, family laughs, family trips, family connections, and ministry just covers all of that. That's when you start having issues. There's no balance. So in order to keep a healthy marriage, in my opinion too, you need to understand that your wife is not second best to the ministry, and that she's always on top. She's always chosen above everything else, because at the end of the day, she's my first ministry. And if I'm faithful in terms of how I lead my house and how I lead her as a husband, if I'm wrong there, I disqualify myself to lead a church. So yeah, well, I think that's my answer. What are you going to say? Just like what do you want to say?
No, I think we managed to get to this level now, but it wasn't always like that. In the beginning years of starting out in ministry, we struggled. We struggled to find a balance. We struggled to navigate this whole ball type of thing. And then I think what helped was firstly both of us to understand our roles. For me it was especially difficult because I now all of a sudden had to share my husband with everybody, and it was challenging because I wanted him for myself, and then I now have to share him with every knock that comes on the door, and we maybe have planned to spend some time together, and then ministry would step in. So we didn't always have the boundary right, but we've learned throughout the years of being in ministry that it's actually vital for a healthy family life.
We sort of worked it out as we were growing.
I feel now we kind of have it together in that area.
Yeah, and we're older. So
So
so with growing older, not old, older, you tend to settle most now. You know, what used to be a bother to me in my 20s and 30s no longer is. You know, traveling is now something that I sort of tried to drag out, because back then traveling was something I've always wanted to do. But I love my house now. I love my family. I love being in the house. So you sort of try to, okay, 1 trip a year, 2 trips a year, the rest just family and church. But I think we settled in terms of just where we're at now. You know, we don't have to take every invitation. We don't have to take every meeting, etc.
So, touching on that, what advice would you give to young couples entering ministry?
We were in the early 20s.
that's right.
Yeah.
I think, like Prophet was saying, it's definitely learning the boundary early.
Early years. That's right.
Without that, you are going to find it very hard, because you will tend to become a people's pleaser instead of listening to the instruction of God. So I think what also helped a lot was, for us, was our kids were born into ministry. So it was much easier for us to steer them. Like right now, we know, our family know, Monday nights we've got this, Tuesday nights is family time, it's Wednesday night. We don't get angry when someone needs to do something on a day, because the family knows already what the calendar looks like. Everybody's on board, so we know if there's conferencing, this is the conference week. There's no moans and groans from the kids. They already know the program. We communicate with our kids a lot around ministry, around the challenges.
I think it's easier because they were born into it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So when we have a conference, they just know they must get dressed. They can't go anywhere else that day. They must be prepared. Get in the car. We have a conference. So it's not something we have to beg. It's already done.
It's in them. They understand it, and they respect it, and they want it.
Yeah.
So I think in that regard, we kind of blessed for the fact that our kids were born into the ministry. So that's all they know. They know from young already, sleeping under the chair is ministry. It's part of how we're going to do it. And even during the exam times for our kids, they all know already, if it's conference tonight, we're going to have to put in the extra time this afternoon, because there's no staying out of church for exams. God comes first. So I think we've kind of got it.
That sounds so heavy. That sounded so heavy.
But they know already.
Yeah, it wasn't something that we installed in. It wasn't something we forced upon them.
No,
it was something they learned to respect through time.
Themselves too.
And it was something that has become part of the culture of this house, and a part of the commitment culture of this house.
True.
Yeah. So yeah, we didn't ever have to. You either come or you don't.
No, I don't think we have. Even on a Sunday morning, we don't have that problems with our kids. They know Sunday is church. They know church is church, and in that way, I must say God has blessed us.
Yeah.
So, with that, putting that in the back, have you ever had to say no to a ministry opportunity for the sake of your family? And how difficult was that decision to be made?
Yeah. Yes, I've put off a conference before. I think it was very early in our years when I remember it was a crusade with one of Cape Town's big speakers, and I was. It was still the arrangement season of that conference, and I think this was even before we had kids yet. And I know my wife needed me for something, so I cancelled the conference to be available. So it went on without me, but what was more important was being available for her. Yeah.
So it seems that the decision was fairly easy to be made. So, and that is why I'd like to
Oh, not easy, because now you have to understand ministry was my life. So I'm very passionate about it. However, oh no, it wasn't easy. I mean, there was, oh, it's ministry. I grew up wanting to be in ministry, and you know, to put off something you're passionate about is not easy. However, when you realize that this is your first ministry, because if I'm not faithful to take care of my wife, God can fire me over there, you know. So it's best to be found faithful with your house than to seek to be faithful in the church and lack in your house, you know. So yeah, no, so it wasn't easy, but it had to be done.
Okay, and I understand. So, in closing, what legacy would you hope to your family experiences because of how you've balanced all your commitments?
What legacy?
I think I would like people to look at us as a family and say that's a God-fearing family. I think if we can achieve that, then we've set an example. I would like people to say that we've aimed our arrow correctly. When it comes to our kids, they have followed in the ways of the Lord. For us, that's important because we knew from before they were conceived what was on their lives. We've prayed about it, and God showed us even before they were born. So we knew exactly the direction we should aim our kids. And I think for us, when they step into that purpose, to the purpose, that is a big achievement. And that is what I would like a legacy for us to be, that. And even as a couple, that we've been through tough seasons, that we were able to bounce back through those seasons and became stronger. So I think I don't want people to look at, we're not perfect at all. We struggle like every other marriage do. We struggle like every other family do. But we're consistent, and we work at every problem in unison. So I think that would be something that I would like people to look at us.
Well, in 10 seconds, I think I would say that what legacy I'd like us to believe, to leave behind, the message of our family, that we never lost sight of the bigger picture. We've never marketed to be perfect people. We never put it out there that we know everything. We've never published that we are the president of things. We have faced the storms, we've faced the trials, the betrayals, we have faced the frustrations, we've faced, I think every type of fire out there, but we kept our eyes on the bigger picture at all times. And that's the legacy I want our kids, and I think they know it on a daily basis. I throw it in them, keep your eye on the vision. But if you can keep you keep ahead, and you keep your eyes going. Doesn't matter the tough times in your house and the storms. If you keep your eye on the bigger picture, you can make it. You'll always make it, and I think that is the ultimate legacy I'd like us to leave behind.
Awesome. I'd like to thank you both, Prophet Barry, Pastor Nita, for the time, for the insight that we've had into your life, into your ministry work, and thank you for answering our questions.
Thank you, Wills. Appreciate you taking the time. Thank you.